Well, we're back with the truck. I'm going to show you some stuff I've been doing. And yeah, I don't know if you've seen that. I'm going to put that gauge up there. I'm going to show you my lights. These were Amazon purchases. Nice, bright lights. I don't know how many lumens they are. But they you know, that you couldn't do anything with. You couldn't hang them on the wall or steal like that because it was just, you had to do that. Well, I started looking around, and on Amazon they had these earth magnets or whatever. They're pretty hefty magnets. And what I did was took and drilled some holes in the handle. They came with the recessed magnet like that, the holder and the screws. So it was pretty sweet. I don't know, it was 20 bucks. You get about 10 of those. I used 2. I don't know what the rest I'm going to use for, but they work really sweet. They hold that up there, and you know, I can really be able to see what I'm working on. You know, so you can see there how bright they are, how much they light up. So a nice addition. But that's not what I wanted to show you. This is my dash. Now, originally, this truck had wood. Turn the light on again here. It had wood that, instead of this piece of angle iron, it was a piece of wood that went up into here. I don't know if there's any wood above it, but anyway, it came down and it formed a post. And what else behind the dash was a piece of wood that came over and tied into that vertical, and it went across, and the same thing on that side. And then your dashboard just kind of, there's a lip right here. It just kind of goes over the top of that lip, and it hangs there, okay? And then there were a couple angle brackets behind the dash that bolt into this, all right, where it was, used to be wood, so it's screwed into the side of the wood. Fine and dandy until the wood rots out, all right? So now the guy that had it before me, somewhere along the line, got smart, and he replaced that wood with these pieces of 2x2, well, his is a 2x1 or 2x1.5, I don't know. I am going to make new ones with 2x2 angle, 1/8 inch angle. And we're going to put one on each side, but I want to show you this dash because I had to do some work. Now the wood behind the dash was in pretty good shape, considering it's a 1936. It's right there by the window, you know, and it's like you would thought that would have been the first piece to rot out, but it didn't. Now I've painted it, and I have got it in place here. But you can kind of see the end of it did rot off, and but everything else, I needed this to be able to affix my, this is for my vent in the front cowl there. But this side was pretty good. You can kind of see, I mean, I had to heat it up, so kind of got the wood a little bit hot. But anyway, this just kind of hung on there by screws that went through the cowl. That is these screws holes here. And so that piece of wood hung right behind underneath this dash. You can kind of see it kind of curves around. And it fit. It was, I mean, the people that made that, it's like, boy, you talk about a craftsman putting that wood, making that wood like that. There's no way I could redo that. But as it got older, it got pretty puffy or powdery or whatever you want to call it, dry rotted. So what happened is these brackets here, this is what your dash screws onto with these holes here, but there were screws here that went up into the wood, and it went through the wood just like over here, and you had these little gizmos like this that the bolt screws into. That was on the top of each piece of wood. Now I'm going to get longer screws. I didn't have a 1/4 inch all thread to go clear through it, because what I did is I took a piece of 1.5 by 1.5 angle and I beat it, and I think I've showed that on the other video. I don't know if I did or not, but anyway, I had to bend that, and that was quite a job doing that, because then it twists. It tends to twist. I mean, you can get it to bend by beating on it, and I got it the right conformity with the wood, pretty close anyway, but the whole thing twisted. So I had to clamp it and heat it, and it was a pain, but I got her done. Then we drilled holes into this angle iron, all right, to match these. I put everything in place in the truck. I mounted this piece of wood on the cowl and slid the dash over the top of it, and then I got up behind it and I fastened this into the dashboard. Okay, and so this was solid. This was sitting on top of that loose, so I just drew holes and drew where the holes needed to be, and then I drilled them. I welded a nut behind each one of those holes so that I could thread these 1/4 inch bolts into it. So now this piece of this angle iron is mounted to this, which gives it very good support. And then I took, and you see there's a screw there, there's 3 screws here, and another screw here. This one I used JB Weld to hold it in place because it was all stripped. But anyway, that holds that wood to this metal. And like I said, I'm going to get a piece of, or a 1/4 inch all thread and go up through here, and then I will take and put a washer on that and a nut, and that'll squeeze that even more together. But that's what I've been doing. And so now we've got that done. I painted everything, and we want to work on the dashboard, and that's what we're going to go after next. Well, yeah, after my 2x2 angle posts. This is going to be the tricky part. I'm going to get those posts mounted, and that you can see that it bends a little bit, so I'm going to have to bend it. And I'm going to have to fabricate a little bit up here at the top, because that 2x2 will not slide up underneath there. Well, it will, but you know, this is, I don't know, 1/8 inch. And so I want the outside edge of this post to be flush with this. So what I'm going to do is to cut off part of the leg of that angle so that I can put it up underneath there, and I'll trim back the rest of it, you know, and so that I can pull the whole angle out, and so it's flush with this. And I might even put a weld through that, I don't know. But before I do any kind of permanent, I have to get the doors. And the doors, that's what these holes here are for. The doors have got to be put into place, and they have got to be set. That's the tricky part. And then you fasten in your post and you make it solid. And that's, yeah, like I said, we're going to have to take some time with that, because that is imperative for your doors to open and close properly. So, you know, and these doors weigh a ton. And so I'm going to gut the inside of them out, make them as light as I can. And I've got the hinges and stuff off, and I've gone through those, and so I'm going to mount those back on the door. We will put the door in place, get it to latch onto here. Or here it is, I'm sorry. This is the, I don't know what this is, the guide or whatever, but this, I think, is where it latches. But we're going to get it put in place, and then I will position this post. See, I got to bring it over. We're going to do that, and we'll get it in place. And once it's in place, I'll probably have my engine hoist. I'll have that underneath here or something to hold that door up in place, because I can't do it by myself. And but anyway, we'll do that, and that'll set that post. We can get it fastened in. You see at the bottom it's got some bolts that run through it, but we'll do the same, but we're going to make them a little bit nicer looking on that. And the other side is the same over there. You can't really see it too. Here, let me get light over on it. Same scenario, but you see they used 1.5 inches. It didn't quite fill up that whole tube or whatever that holds the wood up, that held the wood originally in there. So yeah, that's the plan. So just thought I'd bring you along. That's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to, and then once this is all done, I get these all set, get them fixed, then we will take and put some cross braces in it. And I'll do both, and then I'll tack it in the middle, as I mentioned before. That will keep that whole cab solid. And I will put this piece of angle iron with the brackets in, and they'll be fastened into this post and that post, and so everything will be solid. The whole cab will be solid, and that's what I want, because then I can take the cab off the frame and it won't tweak. It won't get kittywampus or anything like that. So and then we're going to go to town on it, and we're going to start you know, once you get it off and you can see all the holes and the stuff it's got in the back there, that we can get at that easily, you know, tilt the whole cab forward, and then you can work on it. And I got new cab corners to put in it, and we will do a lot of repairs. You know, like all these holes will have to be filled, and there's some on the roof, and yeah, there's just holes everywhere. So I believe this is for the antenna for the car, and or for the radio antenna. But we'll dress it all up, and we're going to clean this up better, and that's the plan. So just thought I'd let you know what we're doing here, because it's going to be involved, and hopefully I'll bring you along a little bit as we go. So that's all we got on the 36, and I got my foam for my seat. I'm going to be working on that as soon as I get some glue in here. Here's the foam I got, and it's going to be, it's 1 inch. I don't know if it's, we might have to double it up. So, but anyway, that's what we're doing. So I'm rambling. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and stay tuned for more truck videos.